The format of this meeting is a 10-minute speaker, a 10-minute coffee break, and then a main speaker. Tonight, our first speaker is Curtis. Help me welcome Curtis.
Hey, I'm Curtis, and I'm an alcoholic. I guess I'll just share a little bit. I got sober when I was 19. I'm 30 now, and I've been sober that whole time. I got 10 years sober now. And when I got sober at 19, I didn't want to be sober. I wanted nothing to do with AA. I was pretty happy just getting loaded and doing what I was doing. So if you're here and you feel like that and you really dread AA meetings, that's all right. There's hope for you. Because my sobriety changed, and I feel like I have a really meaningful sobriety today, a really meaningful life, even though I was pretty miserable when I got here. I just, sobered up for my parents. They kicked me out of their house. They're like, you need to get out of our house, or we'll help you into a rehab. But let me just tell you just like a quick bit before that. I started drinking and smoking weed when I was 13, and then it progressed. Like you guys all know how that goes. I mean, I did all the stuff too, and I guess I don't really have much to that. That just was that. Then I got sober at 19, so that's my drunk-a-log. That's that, and there's not much there. I don't remember a lot of it. It was high school, and that's it. That's all I got for that. But so what happened was my parents were like, "Yeah, you need to get out of our house because we don't like you," or they didn't say that. They were just like, "We're not having it. You're stealing all of our stuff, and get out of our house or go to a rehab." And so I did leave for just a few hours because I was, like I said, I was happy doing what I was doing. I had thoughts like if I could just never run out of, I was doing other things besides alcohol. If I could just never run out of this, then I'll just be happy forever. And that's what I thought. So I went into a rehab. I went into the Prescott House and really hated it there. But I also got this little thing with my voice, so if you hear that going on, that's for epilepsy, but it'll go off in like 30 seconds. I also have epilepsy too. So I went into the Prescott House, and I was just kind of fighting it a lot, fighting it, and after a while, I just kind of figured out that it was just easier to kind of do what they suggested, and then I kind of started to feel different after just kind of doing what they suggested because that was easier, and then I did leave before they suggested I should leave. See, that thing went off now. So I left there, and because one day I snuck away from the Prescott House and I called my mom and I was like, "Mom, I'm pretty sure I'm cured. I'm going to stay sober forever, and I'm good." So she came and got me, and she said, "All right, that's fine, but you're going to a sober house in Flagstaff, and if I'm going to help you." And so I went to a sober house in Flagstaff, and I stayed 6 months there, and I was still not really, all about sobriety, and but I got a sponsor, and I started doing what they wanted me to do, right? But like I said, I was still not into it, but I can remember as the time was going on, I was just still feeling really miserable because I wasn't all in. The way this thing works is if you're not all in, you're not really doing it. That's what I've experienced. Then you're just kind of, I don't know, you have this kind of I'm just kind of crappy inside, and that's where I was at because I wasn't really doing all the work. I wasn't fully committed. And I can remember distinctly this one meeting. Somebody shared about somebody committing suicide in sobriety, and I shared that experience quite a bit because it was so meaningful to me. And I don't ever remember being suicidal, but I could see that far out there if I continued along the way that I was. And I thought you guys all had something that made you happy, like your car or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever it was, and I just needed to, like, I was just about to start school, and I just needed to get through like 4 years of college and get a really good job and get all this stuff, and then I would be happy. But it was going to be like a long, miserable 4 years until I could get all those nice things that you guys had. But I back to that one meeting, it kind of made me kind of think maybe I need to start trying some of this like spiritual stuff or something. And because something really isn't working, because I feel like shit a lot of the times, like most of the time. And so I don't know, from then on I started to buy into it a lot more, I guess is all I can really say. So that's what happened. And there was a group of young people in Flagstaff that really just kind of sucked me into their crowd. They were running around the state and the surrounding states, and they were going to a lot of the young people's conferences. And the first time they were like, "Hey man, do you want to go to a young people's conference in California?" And I really didn't want to go, or really I just wanted some friends. And all these people, they were like the cool kids in my mind. I was like, okay, sure, I'll go. But I really just wanted to fit in with some people. That's really what I wanted to do. And in my eyes, these were the cool kids, and they just happened to be doing the work in AA. And so that's what happened for me. Because I cared a lot what these kids thought about me. And so I started to jump in with this crew. They're like, "Yeah, man, we're going to all these young people's conferences, and we're doing it." And so I just kind of adopted this kind of lifestyle of like, yeah, man, we travel around and we do a lot of AA, and we're just kind of doing it. And that was pretty fun. And I don't know, I started to feel different as a result of the actions. But I don't want to say that from then on it was all good, because there was definitely times in there where I, again, felt really like crappy inside. And that was only because I stopped doing the work. Like, I did go to school, and I feel like towards the end of my degree, like maybe the last year, maybe even the last 2 years, I just became so, like, I guess like tunnel visioned on school, and I started to have those ideas again that I needed this degree, because after that degree I was going to get the job, and that was going to provide all the nice things, and I was just looking way out into the future, and that's what I started to think again, because I was starting to get close to that, and I was thinking, like, I need good grades. And if I don't have good grades, then I'm not going to get a good job, and I'm not going to get all this and that, you know. And so I stopped doing the work, and I started to feel like crap again. And that's happened multiple times in my sobriety. So what eventually happened was I did graduate, and I got a job here. I never thought I would come back here, really. So that's how I ended up here. That's why I'm here now, because I work here. Doing what I went to school for. So graduated, then I ended up here, and I really hated it here at first, back here, because it wasn't Flagstaff. That's the only thing. I never gave it a chance when I moved back here. And I feel like a lot of people have that experience when they move in AA. They move in sobriety, they move around, and I guess I don't know. I mean, I just hear them move, and they're just like, man, it sucks. I don't know if that's the same experience I had, but that's what happened to me. So I moved, and I really just never gave it a chance at first. But then I feel like now I know, looking back, that when I got plugged in and I gave it a chance, that I really like it here in Prescott, and I don't really want to ever leave if I don't ever have to. I've been here almost 4 years, working at this job. And I feel like I've grown so much just since I've moved here. And I got a sponsor when I got here. I've actually changed sponsors 3 times since I've been here, which I did not do when I was in Flagstaff. I had only one sponsor when I was there the whole time. So I thought that was kind of interesting too. And I just recently changed sponsors again. I don't know why I did that, but I guess it felt like the thing to do, I guess. It seemed like I was ready to switch, I guess. Not saying that's a good practice or anything, but I did it. And he suggested that I don't know, like we met up for the first time like a couple weeks ago, and I was telling him all the things that's going on. And he called me out on a lot of things that I felt like I really needed to be called out on, and it was very refreshing, actually. Because I feel like a lot of times I just kind of would show up with my sponsor, and I would say, like, hey, yeah, everything's going good, and put on a good face, and when that really wasn't the case. It's like we met up and had lunch, and I was just, like, shaking. It's like, damn, dude, this guy has my number, you know? And it really was. It was good, and I guess like when I left, I felt like this is going to be cool. But I don't know. I guess I'm just excited for that to see like where that all leads, and because it's been a journey this whole time. And he suggested recently to focus on love in my meditation, because even last year I feel like I was starting to feel kind of miserable again, and I had stopped praying and meditating almost altogether. Like, yeah, I mean that's what happened, and then like right around October last year, I just picked that back up, started doing it again, and it's crazy what happens when you just start doing it again. And some days I'm not into it, and some days I'm more into it. And then just recently he's like, focus on love in the prayer and meditation. And I did that for like the past week, and it's pretty cool. I don't know why, it's like you experience like this intense gratitude. That's what I have experienced. But I mean, I don't know, maybe I was just like, I felt like I was just cruising on autopilot, even doing some stuff there. But so I still feel like there's so much stuff for me to experience in sobriety, and do and learn about. So I guess I don't know where I was going with that, really. Yeah, that's true. I feel like that is the truth that I've been seeing lately. I don't know. I'm gonna pass with that.